Could you take us through how you defeated Galactus? How we did?
We didn't.
Not yet. Not yet, we didn't.
We attempted to negotiate, but Galactus... he asked too high a price.
Well, what does he want?
What did he ask?
He asked for our child.
John, answer this! Are we safe?
Are we safe? I don't know.
The question on everybody's mind, will the baby be born with superpowers?
Oh, shoot.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Marvel has been releasing a ton of new Fantastic Four trailer footage and Easter eggs, so we'll break it all down. They're trying to compete with Superman because it's out right now, so they're like, hey, by the way, we also have a movie that's coming out in a couple weeks. This is me posting this video. Literally, it's meant to be next week, so we are still doing the ticket giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and post all your predictions in the comments below. Because they're in the middle of the press tour, they've been answering a lot of questions. Matt Shakman talked about Mr. Fantastic leading the Avengers. People are like, does that mean Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars? He was probably just making metaphors. I think the actual team leaders during Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars will cycle a lot. Like, there are a couple different teams that we'll see during those movies. But it does make sense that Marvel is hyping up the Fantastic Four as being more central characters to the MCU, along with the new X-Men characters after Secret Wars. Ralph Ineson, who actually plays Galactus in the movie, also talked a little bit about what's going on with Galactus in particular, but most of this new footage, like the real big thing, is them just hyping up the relationship between Galactus and Franklin Richards and confirming a lot of theories that we actually had going into the movie about why they're doing Franklin Richards so soon in the MCU just in general. What a coincidence that I literally just made this video from The Mandalorian about Galactus wanting to see Franklin Richards, because you literally see that footage in one of the recent trailers with him crashing through New York City like he shrunk himself. He's walking through New York City to the Baxter Building, and then you see his head crown over the window as Herbie turns his head like, oh crap, what is going on here? With a tiny baby Franklin Richards just sitting in his bassinet there. Galactus would like to see the baby, and also take him for his own.
I would like to see the baby.
As you can see during all the trailer footage, the big thing here is this is happening after they've been to Galactus the first time and bailed to come back to Earth. Like, holy crap, Sue Storm has since given birth to Franklin Richards. Like, she was pregnant before this when they saw Silver Surfer for the first time, when Shalla came to Earth to warn them as the herald of Galactus. Like, she heralded the coming of Galactus. Then it seems like they go to where Galactus is on this other planet and watch him consume it and try to bargain with him. Galactus, we're here to bargain. That did not go well, and they've come back here and they're doing this press conference in the Future Foundation building, in the Fantastic Four's building, with the rest of these reporters asking them all these questions like, what's going on with Galactus? Because everybody on the planet knows about Galactus from the Silver Surfer visiting recently and heralding his coming across all the different news networks that was covering it while it was happening. So it's not like Galactus and Silver Surfer are big secrets to the world during this movie. They all know that Galactus is coming and just expect the Fantastic Four to fix it. But as Reed Richards says, the price Galactus asked was too high in order to spare the Earth. So the idea is that Galactus will spare Earth if they turn over Franklin Richards. Why is that? What does Galactus want with Franklin Richards so badly that he's willing to forego consuming the Earth? What it seems like Marvel is doing is they're creating some new story just within the context of the live-action movies, because they always change the comics, but also doing a little bit of the classic Franklin Richards and Galactus relationship in the comics, like classic Franklin Richards powers and abilities. All because one of the news anchors in this other trailer footage is saying, everybody's wondering, will this baby have powers? And the answer is yes. Yes, he will definitely have powers. Probably the most powerful new character that they've introduced in a long time. And there are a couple really powerful characters that we've seen so far. Now everybody's going to be asking, who's more powerful, Scarlet Witch or Franklin Richards? Tiny baby or Scarlet Witch? I used the Grogu Mandalorian meme from Star Wars earlier. He really is going to be like the Grogu of the MCU for a while. We will see how quickly they age him up, though, after Secret Wars. I expect him to mostly be smaller, maybe like a little bit aged up, like just a tiny bit by Secret Wars, but not in Doomsday. Like, Doomsday still feels like he'll be a young baby. So at least right now, in the MCU, just in general live action through Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars, he's kind of a glass cannon in the way that Grogu needs to be protected by the Mandalorian and the other characters, but he's just crazy, crazy powerful. I've already done a couple videos on his powers and abilities and why Galactus, in the context of the live-action MCU, might want his powers so badly for himself. It's not just that he's looking for a tasty baby-sized snack.
Get in my belly!
There are a lot of rumors that Galactus wants to recreate his original world, Ta, before it was destroyed with the last big bang, before the recent version of the multiverse was created, and Galactus himself was created from Galen of Ta in the previous iteration of the multiverse, the Cosmos. Ralph Ineson, who plays Galactus, called him a cosmic force during the movie, like one of the older gods, like godlike figure, not a literal god in that sense, but he is kind of godlike. What that actually means, though, is that he's sort of the opposite end of the spectrum of the scales from the Celestials, who are busy creating new galaxies that then propagate new planets. Galactus consumes worlds. He's called the Hungerer. That's literally what he does. He's like a controlled burn, slowly killing off planets that need to be killed off for important reasons. There are a lot of times during the comics, though, when he will go to energy-rich planets if he knows a big battle is coming up and he needs to juice himself up. Then it's possible, early theory, that the Fantastic Four, at least when Galactus first explains they have to turn over their baby, they think that Galactus will kill or consume Franklin Richards, and they don't want to see their baby die. Regardless of how that all goes down, I think what this is meant to do, though, is set the stage, basically give people a tutorial in how Franklin Richards' powers and abilities work with his ability to create entire alternate universes before Avengers Secret Wars happens, so that they can do the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars ending, where they recreate the multiverse using Franklin Richards' powers, one universe at a time. When they cut across the trailers, there's much better looks at his world ship, Ta, too, and you actually see him disengage from it, like there are big tubes that are attached to him, feeding him the energy from the planet that's being consumed here. So it actually seems like he sends his world ship boring through the planet here. It turns the planet into energy that he's capable of consuming, and it just feeds that energy through these pipes into his back here. One of the other important details, I think, too, because a lot of the trailer footage of him before was like off to the side, like you barely saw pieces of him, but we get much better looks in these recent trailers. You can actually see him walking here, and he is purple colored like he is in the comics, like he's colored like he's meant to look in the comics. Most of the full body footage of him before is in space, and you don't really get the sense of that color in these space-based scenes. Love the way you see his eyes light up, boom, against the backdrop of the stars, just to give you a sense of the scale. The whole idea with Galactus, the reason why he can crash through New York City here, but also be the size of a planet, is because he can change his size at will. I'm sure there have been a lot of questions about that already, and when the movie starts, they'll probably just explain that pretty easily.
For that, I will destroy their planet.
So part of what they're doing in this recent trailer footage is they're basically setting the Fantastic Four against the rest of the world, because the rest of the world here is like, hey, wait a minute, what? You didn't make the bargain with them? All you have to do is give up your baby? Are we not worth more than your baby? The whole world not worth more than your baby? And that's the whole thing. F is for family. Vin Diesel will be proud. They're not turning their back on family just to save the world. Because based on that Thunderbolts post-credit scene, it's pretty clear the choice that they make. Like, they're not going to kill Franklin Richards off this early. And it's not like he's going to just jaunty off on a fantastic trip across space and time with Galactus and then not show up in Avengers Doomsday with the rest of them on that ship, and then Avengers Secret Wars and everything that happens after in Marvel Phase 7. So a lot of this footage seems to confirm that it should be an RIP alternate Earth situation, like Galactus does wind up consuming the Earth in their universe, and that's why they have to come to the MCU. But also, I think a really important thing that this trailer footage does not answer is, does Galactus have the ability to also cross universes? There's a lot of Silver Surfer footage, and mostly used for comedic relief with Johnny Storm, like Johnny talking about himself in third person. Johnny feels like he had a moment with the Silver Surfer, with Shala Bal. She absolutely could not care less about him. But in all that footage, you actually get a much better look of her entering the black hole to chase down the Fantastic Four while Sue Storm is busy giving birth to Franklin Richards, and they're trying to make it back to Earth to escape Galactus. It kind of sounds like Galactus, when they show up to bargain, is like, you know what? Bargain over. There is no bargain. Just take the baby and send Silver Surfer to go grab Franklin Richards before they can leave. Unsuccessfully, obviously, they make it back to Earth with Franklin Richards, because you see her holding the baby in this press conference. Then it seems like we get the big third act of the movie when Galactus actually comes to Earth and you see him on the actual planet and the big battle in the streets happens. There's also a couple other new clips that are mixed in here too, like you see Ben Grimm helping that tanker, like just dragging it to the bay, also sits down here and pets the dog, which will remind you, because we just had the Superman movie with Krypto, another super dog. This is probably just a regular dog though, but people have done fan art turning him into Krypto, so it is a bit of a super fantastic reference. People have been making that reference because both movies are going to be in theaters at the same time. It's a super fantastic weekend, sort of like a Barbenheimer weekend with both different movies from different studios competing. There's still a ton of questions about why the Thing suddenly has a beard after they come back to Earth and have their press conference here. Like, is it something to do with the black hole they used to travel back home that affects him but doesn't affect the rest of the family? Or is it some other explanation? Franklin Richards would actually have the powers to actually give him a beard on the spot. Like, he could just snap his fingers and boom, beard. It will be interesting to see if they have a Grogu type of moment, like the early seasons of The Mandalorian, where you see Grogu use the Force in an unexpected but very quick kind of way. Like, uses it, it's really cool, but then basically passes out because it's so exhausting for him. So maybe we'll see Franklin Richards do something like that in the movie, where he unconsciously, because he's a tiny baby, so unconsciously uses his powers, does something really, really cool, but then that's all he's capable of, and he's super tired because he is so small. Generally, that's the explanation for why they don't just solve all the problems of the movie with Franklin Richards, because he can't use his powers in a conscious kind of way, like he's not able to do that yet. Also kind of makes him the most dangerous person in the universe, if he's the most powerful, but they don't know how to control his powers. But because there's so much new footage during this, so many looks at the characters, especially Galactus, if you spot anything or any Easter eggs that I didn't talk about in the video, just write them below in the comments. Marvel's also supposedly developing a Silver Surfer project, but they didn't say if it's going to be a new Norrin Rad Silver Surfer in the MCU after Secret Wars, or if it's going to be this Shala Ball version of Silver Surfer. My assumption right now is that they'll go with Norrin Rad post Secret Wars. There's so much stuff that just dropped too, so I'll try to do videos for all the new trailers that came out. There's another Tron Ares trailer I'll try to do a video for. There's a bunch of Superman. There's a bunch of Supergirl stuff separately that they've started teasing. Like, they finally started releasing actual Supergirl stuff for that movie because it's coming out next year. So I'll try to do videos for all that stuff as fast as possible. There was just a big Mortal Kombat 2 trailer I did a video for. It will tingle all of your member berries, so click here for that, and click here for my brand new Avengers Doomsday first look video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.